It's been a while since I did a sole review of an AliExpress special, so here it is. Welcome back to the channel, you watch nerds. As always, I am Chris, and today we are looking at my first Cronos watch on the channel. And yes, it is a homage to an amazing release by one of my favourite brands of all time, Tudor. Now, as most of you know, I'm a huge fan of Tudor, and having owned their Black Bay Heritage 41mm watch now for some time, my tastes are slightly changing, and I'm starting to look at smaller pieces. I was considering swapping my 41mm for the Black Bay 58 at 39mm, but then Tudor released the Black Bay 54, and well, I just had to get that experience on wrist. Now, since I don't have an extra £4,000 to spare at the moment, I decided to take the next best option and check out the AliExpress listing for homages, and luckily find me a gem of a Cronos watch. So today the question is twofold. The watch by Cronos, is it any good? And will it motivate me to save up for the Black Bay 54 like I originally did with the Black Bay 41 as a result of wearing a homage watch? Well, let's find out. So we will jump right into the specs today, and this one is 37mm in diameter, a thickness of just under 13mm, and a lug to lug of 46mm, so it sits very nice and comfortably on my 7¼ inch wrist. We also have double domed sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, screw down crown, 120 click unidirectional bezel with ceramic insert, lume indices C3 old radium style, and would be my guess, and a fully lumed bezel as well. It is powered by either the PT5000 or the SW200 movement. This one I have today is the PT5000 version. To be honest with you, I think either movement, the PT5000 or the SW200, is a good movement. I wasn't sure about the PT5000 earlier on this year, but having had a look at a few different watches with the PT5000 from micro brands through to AliExpress specials, I can say with some confidence that this movement is actually pretty good. So moving on to the finishing is a mixture of brushed with polished edges, and as you can tell, this watch looks nice and is well built. But design credit here needs to go to Tudor and not Cronos, of course. The hands and indices are of course a 1-for-1 copy of the Tudor Black Bay 54, with the exception of the second hand being a diamond instead of the circle. The writing of the dial is simple text. You have Cronos name and logo at the 12 o'clock, just below the triangle baton, and automatic 200 meters of water resistance above the 6 PM baton. You've also got on the dial, it's a sunburst black dial. It doesn't show too well on the camera, but if you have a look at it in certain lights, especially when you've got it in hand, you can see the sun sort of effect, I guess you would call it. What would you call it? Like a sun gradient, maybe? Yeah, probably sun gradient or sunburst style effect on the dial. The case is remarkably well finished for a watch at this price point, and I think it honestly competes with San Martin as well. You have a mixture of brushed and polished finishing with a screw down signed crown with Cronos' logo, which is unguarded. The bracelet, again, very nice. I don't mind rivets and faux rivets on bracelets, and I think this one looks lovely in my opinion. It is a 3-link oyster inspired bracelet with screw links. No attempt, of course, at a T-fit clasp. I would have been absolutely amazed if they'd even tried that at this price point. But you do get on the fly adjustment, and you do get some nice security pushes with a milled clasp and a pretty good feeling diver's extension. It looks really nice and is well made, if not really needed at this price point in my opinion. Now finally, I'm going to talk to you about my feelings of this watch and what I don't like about it, because let's be honest here, there are a few things that I always like to point out in a review, and it's no different from this one despite the price point. Firstly, I'm not going to be saying that being a homage is a negative. In my opinion, you are either into homages or not, and unless you are hate viewing this content, which is a weird way to spend your Sunday, I guess you're okay in general with homages. So I'm not going to talk about it being a homage or if I like homages or not. But my first criticism is, of course, the bezel. Although it is very well done, in my opinion, the bezel insert feels a little off. Very shiny, not sure why. Maybe it's just the ceramic shiny bezel on the vintage inspired homage takes me out of the moment when admiring it. To be honest, I actually would have been happy with just aluminium insert. Yes, I'm British, that's how we say it. We don't say aluminum, we say aluminium insert. And the final moan I would have on this watch would be the hands and the indices. It's just a little too obvious, a little too try hard on the faux patina. I actually would have preferred a less pronounced rose gold still indices, a bit like the Gakota that I recently reviewed, where it was still white but it had the rose gold style outer on it. I think that would have actually looked quite nice on this watch. Affiliate links to this watch will be in the description below, of course, and if you do end up picking this one up, or any list in the description, it will help the channel out a lot, so thank you in advance for that. And if you don't pick one up, then why don't you just subscribe to the channel? And that way then, when I do review a watch that you like, you won't miss out. Take care, guys, and I'll see you very soon.